Hey, what up, YouTube and all my fellow Nick Cave dwellers? Welcome back to the Nick's Cave. I'm Jan and Nick Fan, your host, and let's get right into it. But before we get into it, I want you to do me one small favor. I want you to hit that like button. I definitely want you to subscribe, leave a comment. If you want to know when the next video is going to drop, hit that notification bell. Well, let's get right into it. Soto. I think Soto will be a very interesting, intriguing piece for the San Antonio Spurs. We all know how the San Antonio Spurs once was known for drafting international players. In the last couple of years, they haven't gone that route since they got a new GM manager and Bryant Wright. They've been drafting more collegiate players. Um, this year's group or crop of international players, I'm not going to lie you, they're nothing to be sneezed at. I think there's a lot of good players in this year's crop of international players, but there is one that do stand out, and that is Soto of the Philippines. He did an interview with the netsdaily.com, which they asked him what team would he like to go to, and he responded to San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs do have 4 draft picks in this year's draft. Interestingly, hold on for a second. Them draft picks is at number 9, the 20th, and the 25th, and they end the second round with the 38th pick. With these draft picks, I go to Tankathon mock draft. They have the San Antonio Spurs drafting Benedict Mathurin from Arizona, shooting guard with the number 9th pick. And then they have them at number 20. They have the Spurs taking Patrick Baldwin out of Milwaukee, a power forward / small forward. And then the 25th pick, they have the Spurs drafting Kennedy Chandler out of Tennessee, a point guard. I really don't know. Do they really need a point guard? Well, they have Durante Murray, which is a very good player. I would like to see him play alongside Soto. With that 38th pick, they projected to draft Max Christie, which is a decent player. I actually had him going to the Knicks in one of my earlier drafts before I came upon Soto and started watching tape and actually kind of wouldn't say I fell in love with him because that's a man to man, but yeah, he's one of my favorite players, and he haven't even played in the NBA yet. And I'm very intrigued. Put like this, the way I feel about the guy right now, I am gonna be doing shows on him, even if he don't get drafted by the New York Knicks. And y'all know I want this man on the New York Knicks because I do see something special in the kid. And if you're first time coming to my channel and catching a video of Soto, I don't know if you've been on any other channels and excuse me, caught any other video of this legend in process. The man is what can I say about him? He's 7'3", he's mobile, he's a heck of an offensive player, but what I like about him, he can play defense. And coming into the draft, before people got to see him work out, a lot of people did sleep on his defensive prowess. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because he's an international player. And I thought that stigma would have been, been left the NBA the way these international, like Luka Doncic came in and played. I can name a few others, but I'm not going to go down the list because I'm talking about my man, Soto. But there's a bias. It's like, all right, put it like this. Another reason why I think Soto would fit well with the San Antonio Spurs because he had the demeanor of Tim Duncan, which he happened to kind of model his game after, and he do respect Tim Duncan. In the interview, they asked him who was one of his favorite players, and Tim Duncan was the first name to come out of his mouth. He said he liked the way Tim Duncan played, no trash talking. He just come in the game, he stayed focused, and he said that's how he played. He liked to just come and stay focused. And what I mean by the international player, not only my man Kai, but international players in general, the reason they get this bum rap because they do play the game right. They don't trash talk. They don't need none of that. Now, I'm gonna point one thing out. Once they get acclimated into the NBA for a couple of years, when in Rome, you do as what as Romans do. Y'all know the same. But coming into the NBA, they have this fundamental, which we know Tim Duncan was the big fundamental. fundamental game. They play the game correctly. They don't see the need for trash talking. They go up because they get angry. Come on, we see them get angry, but when they come over here, they basically they play within the system and they try to utilize their skills the best way they can against some of the world's best athletes. And then I ain't gonna say if they lucky, but if they put in that work, because they're not bums, that's why they got drafted into the NBA. They themselves become one of the world's best athletes in the NBA. And we seen it happen. And I think it's possible with this kid, Soto. And it's not cap. I'm just letting you know it's not cap. Them are my real feelings. I'm not just making videos just to be making videos because I do believe this man and I want him on his team. And this is why I say the New York Knicks, not the San Antonio Spurs. I know a lot of y'all Spurs fans. Y'all want them just as bad as I want them. Some of y'all did your homework just as much as I did my homework. And what can I say? Like I said, this guy's a special player. He's athletic. He's a sneaky athletic to me. They like to say he's not mobile or anything, but to me, he is a mobile player. And he can get out there and get on that floor and move. But a lot of people don't give him that credit. I think because a lot of people didn't watch him when he played in the Philippines and when he played in 36ers over there in Australia for the National Basketball League. And this guy, I'm going to say it again. I say it in every one of my videos. He's been playing with grown men and ex-NBA players that played a few years in the league and probably got beaten out because they did draft somebody of college skill set to come in and they got replaced. But that don't mean them guys are bums. They just didn't get picked on any other team. They still want to check. So they went over to different leagues. And this kid competed with them and held his own. You see his stats, 7.5 points a game. He shot 50% from the field, 38% from downtown, 69% from the free throw, and he handed out 0.5 assists a game. And I know a lot of you look at them stats and y'all like, what are you talking about? Look at them stats. But the man only played 15.3 minutes a game. It's not like he had over 17 or 18 minutes or maybe 20 minutes a game. And I may add, he had a game where he scored 21 points and he didn't play no more than 20 something minutes in that game. So if this kid get the opportunity, this kid can produce. And I would hate for him to be producing on any other team than the New York Knicks. But there is a reality that will be happening. So right now we trying to see and get a fit for the best team for Soto, the legend out of the Philippines. He will be a legend. When he make the NBA, this kid will be a legend. So I'm telling y'all right now, what y'all need to do is go down to Redbubble and get yourself some legendary Soto t-shirts. We have some for women. We have some for men. You look on the screen, it should be right there. The .com, everything is right there. This kid is going to be a legend. Once he make the NBA, I could see him being an all-star. Maybe not in his first year, maybe not his second year, but I see by his third year going to that fourth year, hitting his senior year of his NBA stint. I could see this kid being an all-star, and especially if he play on the San Antonio Spurs. I could see I can see Greg Popovich coaching another 3 to 4 years because Greg, the coach, he's about to retire, right? But the reason I think he's going to retire because he don't have any more players on his team like Tim Duncan and Ginobili and Tony Parker. And much as us U.S. born players and fans hated, that was a good damn squad. You know what I'm saying? They all was born from out of this country, and they were some good players. Tim Duncan went to college here. If I'm not mistaken, is Wake Forest. I think Tim Duncan went to. I should have did some, checking on my stats. It's been so long since the man been out the game. But yeah, like I said, Tim Duncan has always been a special player, and the Spurs have always drafted international players. And like I said, they have 4 draft picks in this year draft. And the reason I bring that up because I don't think the Spurs, and I don't know if the Spurs is one of the teams that I know he haven't worked out so far with, but I don't know if the Spurs is on his schedule to work out for. But I know Greg Popovich, and if they still have the same coaching staff and scouts over there, I know they're taking a look at Soto. And as I said, the kid is fastly becoming a legend throughout the workouts of the NBA before the draft on June 23rd, which I'm thinking about doing a live show. But I don't know. I might go down. I better hurry up and get my ticket. I'm thinking about going down to Barclays Center and watch the draft live. And actually, I really want to go down and see if I can get an interview with somebody. Be honest with you. Yeah, but back to Kai Soto. Like I said, this kid is something special, and I think any team should take a risk on with the number one pick of their side. I'm not saying the number one pick of the draft, excuse me, their number one pick. We all know the consensus players to go the top 5, the top 6, basically up to the top 8. And this is where I said Kai Soto should fall into the New York laps. Come on, Leon Rose. You can't let this kid get past you. You got to take this kid. I'm telling you. If a lot of people like to say the Knicks should have picked Steph Curry, but if I'm not mistaken, Steph Curry got picked before us, you know what I'm saying? And I think one pick before us that year. And it's a pick that we regret. I don't know. People say the Knicks should have probably try to move up and get Steph Curry. It's a pick that we regret. And it's a couple of other picks we regret that we didn't get, like the Frank Ntilikina pick. I forget who was that draft class? What's it, Donovan Mitchell? I forget, honestly. But we regret that pick. Kristaps Porzingis was a good pick. I'm not gonna lie to you. And what made that pick so good is because he was more like Kai Soto. He came out of the blue, out of nowhere. People were saying, what Phil Jackson doing? What's on your mind? And that's another thing. As much as I dislike Phil Jackson, I guarantee you, if Phil Jackson was still manager and the GM of the New York Knicks, Kai Soto would definitely be getting drafted by the New York Knicks. I'm telling you right now, because that's what Phil Jackson was trying to do. He was trying to bring a little flavor in from the international. You know what I'm saying? We can have everything cooking at one time, a nice, fresh melting pot, as they say. That's what Phil Jackson was trying to do. He couldn't get it done. Because look what he took Kristaps Porzingis from, if I'm not mistaken, Lithuania, where one of them countries right over there. And then he took Frank Ntilikina out of France. Like he was moving towards, he was trying to model the New York Knicks after the San Antonio Spurs. Because during this time, the San Antonio Spurs was still a goddamn a team. You know what I'm saying? They still have a couple of players from the international league. I think Tim Duncan wasn't in the league. Before I started going off, I really got to start checking my facts really. But I think that's what Phil Jackson was trying to do before he got out of here. And you got to think about it. The Knicks would have been a better team. And not only that, we'd have had the flexibility to have gone out and gotten stars. And stars would have seen players that, let's somebody like Durant or whatever, they've seen the international players and how they played. They're like, yeah, I'm going over there and play with them. Now that I'm the star, I know I'm going to have a solid role back of people who's not going to demand too much. I can be me. But Kai Soto can come in this league and he can be a star. That's all I got to say. And with that being said, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about in the comment section. And another thing, like I end my videos, with that being said, I want everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, and peace.